Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of TFG Radio. As you can tell, this is a pre recorded episode. Having to coordinate everybody nowadays with everybody being busy, it's getting a little harder. But tonight we have John,
Yeah.
and we also have Tom.
Yeah.
Keep up the streak.
I can barely hear you, Tom.
Seriously?
Yeah. But no Danny tonight. Danny's kids are sick, so he's not with us tonight. Which is a shame because we'll be talking about stuff that only Danny likes. So,
Like Age of Sigmar?
yeah, a couple of things. We'll talk about Armo real quick and then the reveals. So, jumping into it. And this puts, so both John and Tom are here, which means Tom is still ahead in the appearance running. So,
Which is good because Tom's the only one who cares.
What do I care about?
being here, being on the
More
show.
than me.
It's early still. So I went to Rocky Mountain Open. It was in Denver, on the outskirts, at the fairgrounds. Flew in Friday morning, right after the snowstorm. So everything was covered in snow. It was cold, but not too cold. It was bearable. The actual fairgrounds hall itself was maybe half the size of the SoCal Open one exhibit hall. So, if you've ever been to SoCal Open, all the tables are separated and they stretch literally across the whole exhibit hall. So you have to run. So the first table's like miles away from the last table. In this one, they were because it's only half the size, they were a bit more compact. So it was easier to get to the tables. It did have heating, so it was working, so it wasn't cold inside. And it was just a 6-round event, nothing huge like at Cherokee or ACO. We still use the paging system, which they seem to use more than they did at Cherokee. Although towards the end of the event, they just started yelling and raising their hand because they're probably tired of using the QR code. I don't know. They did have food trucks there. One food truck was doing the the funnel cakes, which is a staple of most fairgrounds, which also include fried everything. So over the course of the weekend, I had a fried Oreos, fried Twinkie, and fried Ding Dongs.
Okay.
Amazing.
They were. Although I think...
and then you had cardiac arrest and had to go in an ambulance.
I didn't have them all at the same time. It was over the course of the weekend. I think the Oreos were my favorite. So... And then I think the guy said he's actually moving to Vegas. So hopefully we can get him for LVO. I don't know. Who knows? Because I don't know where
The
LVO
funnel
is.
cake man?
Huh? The funnel cake guy, yeah.
The funnel cake man is moving to Vegas?
He said, yeah, he's moving his operations to Vegas.
I feel like no place they have LVO is going to let them have anybody that's not part of the casino giving food out.
Right. But I'm sure he'll play. I'm sure he'll be fine. There's plenty of other places to sell his wares. They also had
It's fine. Everything's fine.
like a cheese melt sandwich, I guess. It was actually pretty good. They had another truck that was rice based, and I forget what the fourth one was. But it was fine. It was pretty chill. There were a lot of new players there. It was like their first tournament ever, or big tournament at least. So, like with any event, we always talk about what questions come up more often, and every event is different. This event, the question that came up had to do with the grenade strat. So the question that came up was, if someone does X amount of mortal wounds, The grenade strat states that you only have the maximum you can do is 6 damage. So do you just roll 6 dice, or do you keep on rolling until
No.
6 damage is done?
You roll as many as possible until the 6 damage is done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people
Right.
didn't understand that. Like I said, it was a tournament. It either never came up, or it was a lot of newer players.
Okay.
So yeah, so like the
So it's
question
like
was
a
like,
GW event.
yeah, it was like a GW event, because I guess someone had like a Canis Rex, and he does. I think he's strength 30 or
what?
something like that. So
What now?
or
To be
something.
fair, Canis Rex did come up.
Oh no,
in
it was
LVO.
Tank Shock. It wasn't the grenade strat. It was Tank Shock. Tank Shock's the one with the grenade strat is the other one we had questions about. So it was Tank Shock. So with Tank Shock, they used it. I think it was on Canis Rex or somebody. They're like, well, what if they do like 20 something mortal wounds? And yes, like you said, John, you have to roll all of them until you fail 6, basically.
Yeah.
So the other one, like I just said, was the grenade strat, and it was more question and then surprise, because the grenade strat is not in lieu of a shooting attack, so you can use it when you fall back.
It's its own thing.
Yeah, it's like it's yeah. So like when people fall back, they can use it. So those little things like that, and those all the basic questions.
Gotcha.
Of like, hey, can I move over my guys? Can I do this? Can I do that? How does this work? Some measurement issues, but for the most part, it was pretty chill. We probably got fewer
Gosh, my
requests.
opponent's trying to Tony me, bro, with his grenades.
We got none of that. No, nothing too bad. They had a raffle for a painted Dark Eldar army. The event was won by Zach Kersetter with his Blood Angels. So it was pretty. It was, and then overall was a Space Wolf player who was like totally shocked that he won. With the comment of that, I haven't won anything. I've never won anything. So it was
Good for
actually
him.
pretty
Good for
good.
him.
Yeah.
Did he howl like Lemonus?
No,
The Vilka Fenrica?
he did not.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has to yell Vilka Fenrica. If he doesn't do that,
Vilka Fenrica.
He was.
Which
I
is
think
my favorite part of Horus Heresy lore. That is my favorite thing that came out of the Horus Heresy, was that they went back and they like totally deepened the Space Wolf lore. And they're like, yeah, we don't like being called Space Wolves. Thanks.
yeah. We're called the Route.
Yeah.
oh, the route.
And if you want to be proper about it, it's Vilka Fenrica.
Yeah, I
would
mean, he
love
did
that.
have a
Not Space Wolf, you fucking pleb.
he did have a skull on his display board for his army.
Amazing.
So
Good for him.
like a wolf skull, like a.
Did he drink out of it? Did
No,
he
no,
drink
it was-
Meowed out of it?
No, it was. He did have lights. He had a whole thing.
Nice.
It was pretty nice.
If I ever played Space Wolves again, I would absolutely have one of those skulls you can drink out of, and I would do the thing from the YouTube guy and make them Meowed
Oh yeah.
and offer to my opponents to drink out of my
Oh
skull.
yeah.
Or my horn. I mean, I have a drinking horn already, but the skull just seems cooler.
Yeah.
I mean, why not both?
I mean, I could do both.
Dinner,
I feel like I
we
need to be 50 before I do this.
I hate you.
I feel like I can't be that weird with Warhammer until I'm at least 50.
50 or early 20s.
I mean, there's a lot of evidence.
Look,
that
I'm not
you
a
can start
zoomer.
whenever you want.
I'm not a zoomer.
I mean,
I got to look like John Cook before I can do this. I got to be in a rascal and look like Santa from Texas before I can do this.
There was someone that was dressed up like a commissar because he was playing Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum.
Yeah, that guy's around. He's been around.
We did have. There were a couple of people dressed up, but they were playing AOS. So we had AOS and 40K in the main hall, and then they had a separate area for Legion, MCP, and Shatterpoint. So.
But by dressed up for Age of Sigmar, do you mean like cosplay or do you mean like Dayton?
Cosplay.
Okay.
Dayton is unique.
Okay. Yes, but it still qualifies as dressed up.
I guess. Technically, yes.
I mean, it fits the description. conceptually as I push my non-existent spectacles up my nose.
Man,
Yes.
this should have been my absence. I'm already feeling it.
We'll talk about Helldivers in a minute. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So dinner was fine. We actually we tried to go to this place called Texas Roadhouse, but it was like super crowded, and it was like a 1 hour wait. So we ended up going to a Red Robin.
Have you never been to a Texas Roadhouse?
I haven't. Kicker
Really?
wanted to go, but it was packed, and so we ended up not going.
Have you not done like a road trip across the U.S.?
I have, but we've never had it. We've never gone to a Texas Roadhouse.
What?
He's
There's
never
there's several in California.
There is. Where's there a Texas Roadhouse in California?
There's one. I think there's one past Azusa.
Yeah, and then there's another
Off of
one
210.
on the way to Vegas
There is.
in like Apple Valley.
Oh, now I have to look.
Yeah,
Oh, well, I never stop in Apple Valley.
I'm like 95% sure that I'm 50% right.
I know there's. You might be thinking of Pinnacle Pete's, which is near Azusa, and that's like a steakhouse.
No, I'm thinking of Texas Roadhouse.
No, I'm talking about Tom. He said there might be one near me. Now I'm looking.
I could have sworn. No, like I said past Azusa.
It is past
out
Azusa.
there, but
It's
one-
in Laverne.
What's the other one? Is it Cracker Barrel? Is the other big one?
I've been to Cracker
Barrel.
Barrel.
There's Cracker Barrels.
I've never.
I have
been-
not
that
actually.
one. I've never been to, and we passed by. I remember.
You've
I was
never
driving
been to
across the
Cracker
country
Barrel?
Way back when.
I will not go to Cracker Barrel because it's racist to my people.
John,
We've already discussed the definition of racism.
I'm not a cracker.
please.
I'm not a cracker.
John, please. No.
Oh,
so we were
okay.
driving from DC to California, so like it was a pretty long hike, and we passed by a bunch of Cracker Barrels, and my roommate slash driving partner was like, "Dude, we gotta go to one. We gotta go to one." And I just don't know why, but I was like, "Nope." I for
Fair
some
enough.
reason am picking this thing to not ever do,
Good.
but now I would.
No,
I
you
just
wouldn't.
to
It's
try it.
okay.
So there's one down by Corona and Norco.
No, there's one in
There's
Rialto.
one
That might be the one.
past the
That's the one
15.
Tom's thinking of.
Yeah.
Rialto.
That's
Yeah,
probably
and
the
then,
one.
there,
Yeah,
and then
they're
there
right by
is
that.
one up. There is one up by Hesperia, Victorville area.
Yeah, I'm not
off the
going.
15 on the way
I'm
to
not
Vegas,
stopping
yeah.
there. I have family there, and I
Just
I
stop on
wouldn't
the way to
stop there.
Vegas with Alan.
If I'm with Alan, we're stopping at a Denny's. We're not stopping at Texas
unfortunate.
Roadhouse. We'll have to go to the one in Rialto.
Oh, and there's another one out by Indio and Coachella. That's the other one I've seen.
Okay.
Which I would also know that one because my in-laws live in Palm Springs.
Yeah, on the way to Palm Springs.
Yeah.
And then there's like 83 of them in where is this? In someplace here in Arizona, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Adam, do you at least make sure to go to different Denny's, like each time you're with Alan, or do you always go to the same location? Because I mean, I feel like Denny's is one of those things where it's like everyone can have.
It's
some
like
kind of flavor.
every freeway exit, essentially. Yeah. I've been to a bunch of different ones. I recently went to the one in Pasadena,
Why?
near my eye doctors, on Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
Why do Glendale and Scottsdale, Arizona need 15 Texas Roadhouses?
Because they really
It's
like
big
them.
It's actually super big. So Texas Roadhouse is super big in
It's
the
11.
area.
I was like, I'm gonna be ridiculous and say 15. It's 11. It's actually 11. I counted.
No, they like it there, man. It's big there. I don't know why.
Why did we not franchise a Texas Roadhouse in Scottsdale?
There you go. So unfortunately, we did not get to go because it was like an hour wait, and Kicker does not like to wait. So we ended up going to Red Robin, which I haven't been to in a while, and then I remember why. So yum.
I can't imagine why Texas
Isn't Red
or,
Robin
like, Kicker
just
can't
like-
wait.
Wasn't like Red Robin just basically the crappy proto version of Boston Market?
Wow.
No, it's burgers. Red Robin
It's burgers and
Oh,
the
it's
and the
burgers,
limitless fries.
It's burgers.
Its big selling point is limitless fries.
Yeah.
Limitless fries. They have the limitless onion tower now. Yes.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Okay, so
I haven't been to Boston Market.
I gotta
It's like
ask
a
you.
proto.
have you guys ever been to Culver's?
Yeah. Yeah, we went to
Culver's.
Culver's on our road trip to Wisconsin
Culver's is-
and back.
Yep, that's exactly where I had it. Was
I want to say
to
no.
this day
I
one of
haven't.
it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, fast food burger joint
Yeah.
places of all time. Their standard burger is called the Butter Burger,
Yeah.
and basically that they just destroy in butter and then cook that
Yeah.
shit, and it is fantastic.
And you got to get it with the ice cream.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because
I
for
mean,
whatever reason, it tastes better with the ice cream.
like I'll be on the toilet the rest of the day, but I'll still do it. I'll just because I have to do this.
Right.
I
Oh,
don't like
sorry.
it better than In-N-Out, but it is good.
In and Out, the In and Out is there are things I will say like in a 1-to-1 comparison are better than In and Out, but In and Out on a consistent basis is
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
Like In and Out is consistently that high bar of dang, this tastes good, and I
Yes.
feel like it's not killing me as fast as like McDonald's is.
Right.
Oh,
You
I won't
know.
even eat McDonald's. My
I
kids are like,
I
let's get Shamrock Shakes. And I'm like, okay. Can we get fries? Sure. Dad, aren't you getting anything? Nope.
see
You don't want
I'm one of
anything?
those
Nope.
I'm one of those kids where I had McDonald's right when they started lacing it with the genetic modifiers to make kids addicted to it for the rest of their lives. So
Right.
I'm one of those people. I still love
No,
McDonald's,
I beat it.
but
A cold
but
turkey, I beat it.
I mean it's one of my it's on my list of addictions to get to.
One
of
at a
the
time,
many that I
Tom.
have.
So yeah. So I mean, the weekend
Yeah, I
was
guess.
fine. The trip back was a little bumpy coming in, but
No doors flew off your plane or anything?
no. I flew Southwest, so
Ah.
but it was pretty
No
cool.
Airbuses to worry about for you.
No.
Or no, it was Boeing planes, huh?
Yeah, it was the Boeings.
But it was the big Boeing planes.
So, but it was enjoyable. It was my first time at Armo. So, and what they had a small lake, and for some reason there is a replica battleship on there.
Did the lake freeze over and you could ice skate to the battleship?
It wasn't frozen when I was there, but probably. I wouldn't be
That's a missed
surprised.
opportunity. They should freeze the lake so you can ice skate around the battleship.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It just sounds like something they should do.
I just thought it was interesting that they had
I mean-
that there. I didn't get to go though. Maybe next year. But yeah, so the flight back was cool. It was fun. I enjoyed it. So nothing too hectic.
I've
there.
always wanted to go to play it, but it's a very inopportune time of year.
Oh, because you're in the middle of school.
And then I also remember that it goes California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado. And in my mind, even though I'm, a social studies teacher, I always think Colorado is closer than it is.
Oh, it was like a 2.5 hour.
I'm always
flight.
like, oh yeah, I could drive there. I
It's
could
a-
drive there no problem. And I'm like, oh no, I can't. I know
It's a 16-hour
That's
drive.
definitely not. That's a problem.
Yeah,
It's
it's
definitely a
like when I
problem.
drove from here to Boise. So
No, I've done it twice.
Yeah.
I've done the road. I've
yeah,
done the
see?
drive from
So I don't know why you don't do it.
Denver to back. Because at both times I did it, it was 2 days,
Oh,
not one.
you can do it in one.
Natalie and my sister did it one day once, and they were like, "This sucks," and I'm like, "Hey, you guys chose to do it." I'm like texting them back. I'm like, "This is the consequences of your own actions." guys."
Well, I'm glad I didn't, because then I would have to driven through
You
that
all
snow.
said, "Hey, do you want to go into this conference with us?" And my answer was, "No, I don't."
You performed your activities in a circular manner and then discovered the ramifications of thine own actions.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, so next one's BAO. So luckily it's like 2 months away, 2.5 months away, so I get to rest a little in between.
You're judging that one too.
Yeah, it'll be me and Keith. So Keith will be with
Are they
me for that.
finally doing it Friday, Saturday, Sunday instead of having
No.
the finals on Monday?
What? They never did the finals on Monday. It's Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday.
Okay.
It's
No,
always
they
kicked
used to
today.
do it Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and you would have the finals on Monday.
What?
They
When
would
was
do the
this?
finals on that Monday that was off.
No, they did it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then people complained.
There was one
The
I
first,
remember that did this,
yeah,
but they haven't done it recently, or
No.
it may not be BAO. I know what John's talking about, and I know they don't. Whoever it is doesn't do it anymore.
Because people are always like, don't do it with the finals on the day off, so that people can like travel home and have the day off still.
In the UK they like
They used to do a
do
Saturday, Sunday,
in the
Monday.
UK they like doing Mondays, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday instead
Well,
of Friday,
look, we
Saturday,
don't
Sunday.
talk about what the people on the wrong side of the Revolutionary War choose to do.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I can't hear their I
I
can't hear
mean,
their
they
calendar
liked tea,
preferences
for
of not
God's sake.
bringing.
Tea! Who drinks tea?
I mean,
Did
I do,
coffee
but
like a
Most of the
civilized
world.
person.
I also drink coffee. Drink
Um,
both
Most of the
things.
world.
yeah, so it's
Well,
only
most of the
Saturday,
world is
Sunday.
what?
At the end of the day, we have democracy.
It's and it's it's in with the it's in conjunction with Kubla Khan, so I'm hoping we're in the same hotel so I can actually maybe sneak away and go look at some of the other stuff going on. So, because I know the event's not as big, and I know a few of the AOS people are disappointed because there's no AOS event at BAO this year so far.
Hmm.
We have Old World instead.
Can't have everything, guys.
So we'll see how that goes. But so that's going on. In between our last show and this one, we did have some teasers for the Tau, and I believe they're on sale
Okay.
now, right, Tom?
Yes.
I made sure to
Yes,
ask while
Tao's
he's
on
chewing.
Yes. Yes, they
Yes.
are. They are currently on shelves that are on stores.
So, what are your thoughts
Maybe.
so far?
So, my initial impression is kind of twofold. I think, and again, there's I think there's still some ambiguity with how points are landing. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know. Let's just assume the points stay as they are, or what I understand in the movie. I really like the approach they took with the formations, and I like what they did with the crisis suits, but I like the approach. I think that the thing that I have a problem with the formations, excluding crew, we'll talk about them in a second, is Aoyan is still the same, sure, but that's the problem. Tau really need to lean on surviving until turn 3, which you can do. Mont Ka is really nice, but you basically, if you're not making it, past turn 3, you're dead. You don't do what you need to do soon enough. Not to mention which it's hard to utilize that turn 1 against an opponent who can hedge their bets or screen very well. Um, so that's another thing. The suit one, it's good in theory, but the problem I have with all of these formations is that the shooting output of Tau has become significantly reduced. Take away the Cyclone Ion Blaster like they did. I'm fine with that. I get it. The mulching death ball of overpowered shots that can come from that. It's
Not
insane.
to mention the model for it hasn't existed in how long?
I
I don't
know,
think it
right?
ever
Most of the
has.
cyclic ion blasters are third party.
It did.
They
It did existed in metal.
it
I had them
existed
on
in
my fourth
metal,
edition.
and
The only
one
time I played Tau in fourth edition, the jump shoot jump.
and one of the commander sprues at some point had it.
Yeah.
And and there's a visual of it too, and that's how
Hmm.
people knew how to create 3D
Yeah.
models of it because they knew what it looked like. It was in the
Yeah. Yeah.
codex art. But the problem is they've taken these crisis suits and they've split them into different functions, which is cool. I like that. I like that each suit squad kind of does a different thing. I like that they have access to 2 different guns, and you can take double of those guns or one of each, and they have a unique ability that allows them to be better at what their kind of team does. So you've got like anti-infantry, you've got all rounders or MSU killers, and then you have anti-vehicle killers. The problem, the big problem I have is that first they made it so only one of those suits have invul saves. That sucks. That really sucks. Because part of the reason that these bombs were able to actually do anything was because they could survive or had a chance of survival. I mean, there's enough AP1 2 out there. It's like, bleh. Maybe that's why they're, pushing the enforcer guy who brings down an AP pip, sure, but not enough for me. The second thing is that they basically limited each suit to 2 guns. Again, take away the cyclic ion blaster all day, but then the other guns don't really do that much. I mean, sure, the anti-infantry guns are going to be good against mulch infantry, but how much of what you're dealing with is mulch infantry? Not much. I think there's going to be some really good Tau player, right? Thiegler or somebody who like figures out an all Tau list that does really well and they know how to maneuver it. Great, but they're no longer this like truly shooting army. Like Riptides, they're really good at being big distractions, and sometimes they can pop some hits, but they're not your damage dealers. Ghost Keels are never your damage dealers. The true damage came from crisis suits,
Right.
and it's just they lost a third of that output just by losing a hard point to a gun, and then that hard point not even accounting for the fact that okay, where's the shields? Shield drones going from take 2 pursuit to take 1 pursuit. Yeah, I can even understand that. Don't give them 6 wound suits. Give them 4 5 wound suits if they choose that. But I don't know. It feels like they really got to cut off at the heels, and now they don't do as much. The other hand, the Kroot formation and the Kroot models, and I haven't really mapped this out or really thought about it super in depth, but just at an initial understanding, that actually looks really cool. I don't know why, but I just have all of a sudden this idea that I mean, they did a live stream before they did the Kroot box release. All of the things in the Kroot box are 500 points, including 2 enhancements that they gave. So you're telling me that I can run 20, 40, 60, 80 Kroot warriors plus a bunch of rampagers plus 3 Krootoks plus, 8 characters. And that's not even accounting for the fact that there's 2 sets of models they haven't even released yet, the Lone Riders and the Hounds. And I get 5 up invul against all shooting and 6 up invul in combat, and I'm not too bad at combat, and all of my stuff's -1 to hit. That's amazing. That's really good. That's like a horde army that can really just live out there on the board and just mop and swamp objectives. Not to mention which there's a lot of bonuses with trackers and hounds and all of these other units where it's designed to like really push and chase after stuff and just keep the board moving. It kind of feels like a tide almost. Chicken tide, I'm calling it right now. But so the Kroot army looks really awesome. And if I were a younger man with time and a lot more money than I have now, you're damn right I'd buy 2 or 3 of those boxes and I'd build a whole Kroot ass army and I'd do it. That sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. I don't. So for me, it's like, all right, I like what they did. I like what they tried to do. I just don't. I just kind of see it as a different army now. One that I'm definitely not good enough to figure out how to do anything with it. And so now I'm gonna just go be bad with Grey Knights instead until they get their codex, and I'm bad at that too. So that's my spiel.
There you go. Thanks for coming to his TED Talk.
Fair enough.
I haven't really looked at it because I don't care about Tau. So that's why we talked to Tom.
Thanks for coming to Adam's TED Talk.
Other news, real quick. If you follow any of the FLG events, you hear Kicker talk about the Champions Cup, which is basically a large 8-man team event that will be held in Dallas in September. I believe John is the captain. Captain John
Yes.
will be going.
Capitan.
Danny will be there. Tom will not be there because Tom is not a team player. I will actually get to play, apparently. From what I've been told, that could change. But so far, so. And I've been told to play Death Guard. But
Okay.
with the recent announcements, I don't know now.
Okay.
So,
mean,
first things first, though, I have to find my Death Guard.
That's fair.
Because they're boxed up somewhere. So I have to find where I put them. And then I got to just pick up whatever models I need to flesh out the army. But that kind of leads us to the next portion, which is basically talking. We had the reveals yesterday. We're recording on Thursday. First big thing was the last of the Dawnbringer Crusade.
What?
Yeah, it's basically like the storyline right before a new edition, like they do with 40K. Because 40K had the Fall Acadia, then they did the I forget what last year's was, but this year's was the Arcs of Omen.
It was
because the rumor is they're indexing everything, right?
Well, we'll get into that. But before that, John, you mentioned earlier yesterday when I mentioned it was the new chaos stuff with the Lord, with the Herald,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
new
that dude on the
Herald,
big lizard
Abraxia
thingy.
Spear of the Everchosen.
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah.
that what
She's
Between
a
Harkon's
that
called?
and
character in
the
Total Warhammer, isn't she?
Huh?
no,
He's
he is
also a
called the Everchosen.
no.
Archaon.
Harkon
No,
is
Harkin Worldclaimer in
in 40k, I
is
believe,
called the
is the
Spear of the
Spear of the
Everchosen, or Spear of
Everchosen.
Oh.
he's
I
the
thought
Spear
you
of
were
the
saying
something.
Archaon. I was like, Archaon is the Overchosen,
No,
right?
Harkon is the
You're
Spear
saying
of
Harkon. Got it.
Abaddon or
Got it.
Spear of whatever.
He's known as Herald of the Apocalypse,
There we go.
but he's got the Spear of something.
He's got the Spear of
The Spear of the
do extra
Apocalypse.
damage.
The
So
Hell
the model
Spear.
looks cool,
Spear of the End Times.
and I guess it comes with a box
Yeah,
set.
for sure.
So I mean, I don't know what to say with that. I mean, I'm not into AOS, but like John just said, they did announce a new edition of AOS. In the interview that they did afterwards, they had mentioned a few things that sounded similar to 40k. Like it seems like they'll have tactical objectives, and they are. The way it sounded to me was that they're going to index everything for the start of this new edition. So it's a good time if you haven't tried it out to try out the new edition, especially with everything going to index. So we'll see how that goes, and it's where and basically this edition the army is Skaven that the Stormcast Eternals are fighting against. So it's the introduction of the Skaven proper into AOS, which is why you're
Thank
not going to
God,
see them
finally.
in the old world. Because I think in the fluff they made the transition to the Age of Sigmar universe.
They
Can't
did,
remember.
from my understanding, but like they kind of were on the sly because they were part of the reason why the old world broke up between
Right.
them and Nagash and
Chaos.
Archaon. Yeah,
Yeah.
if I'm remembering anything correctly.
So they didn't show any models, but they just showed that cinematic trailer with what will probably be the models.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
Old
that's
World
exciting.
actually had dwarves. They showed dwarves and some of the dwarf models and some of the old dwarf models like the Goblin Hewer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, and they had like straight up hammers, thunderers, miners, quarrelers.
all
Like
the old stuff. Yeah,
it was like, damn.
Anvil of Doom, the literal king on the shield bearers. Although it's supposed to be a younger version of the original sculpt, because it takes place a few hundred. I think it's 300 years earlier than the end times. So I had a dwarf army at one point.
I totally do a dwarf army. I love the concept.
Underworlds has their thing, which I don't know anybody that plays nowadays. However, the only reason I bring it up is because the models for the new warband or whatever, one of them
Photon.
is two people in a trench coat.
I saw that, and it looked like one person was like possessed and stuck in the trench coat, and the other
No,
person that was like the head was like the ghost.
it's two
It looked
people.
cool. I mean, but
It's
it
a
does look like
father
they
and
put a trench
apparently
coat.
it's a father and son, with the son sitting on the shoulders of the father.
I did not catch that.
That's why, even though it's two people, it looks like the top half is shorter than the bottom half. I just thought it was hilarious. So that's the only thing I want to bring about Underworlds, because nobody we know plays it. I'll mention Warcry, even though Danny's not here, only because of the models. Because the skeleton dudes have a skeleton centaur, essentially. The
Yeah, I saw that.
Bone Reapers. They have a skeleton centaur in their warband, and looks like skeleton harpies is the best way to describe it. And then the wood elves have a beekeeper model that's a shitload of bees and vines growing out of his forehead, which is just
Yeah, I
weird.
saw that. The beekeeper thing is strange. Yes.
Yeah. Then, well, the first thing they let off with, but I mention it now, is the Chaos Space Marine. First off, the new models, which is the Chaos Lord in regular power armor. He comes with a bunch of options. He comes with the axe. You can give him the axe, a chain axe, a power maul, hammer, or even a power fist, and you can give him a plasma pistol. And then they have the jump, and they're bringing back the jump pack, the Lord with the jump pack. And he also, you can make different variations, like one with a plasma pistol and a chain axe or a demon axe, and then a twin lightning claw Lord. So, although if you have the fifth edition Lord with lightning claws, all I have to do is rebase him. You're fine. They
Huh.
did mention a couple things though. They did mention that there's going to be 8 different detachments. One of them being for Vashtor, the Arcanfane. So he'll get his own detachment. I'm assuming Astral Claws will get one. I don't know. And there'll probably be a generic. I think the one we have now is probably for Black Legion and maybe Word Bearers. But you're probably going to get like a sneaky one, like one for each, for most of the other Traitor Legions. So Iron Warriors, probably Night Lords. I don't think you're going to get one for Emperor's Children. So
Yeah, I mean, because I think they're the most. There's a number of like, ooh, what codexes are coming out for
yeah,
40K, like redacted images, and I mean, I would not be shocked if one of them is Emperor's Children. They're last in the list. They already have a Horus Heresy possessed Fulgrim sculpt, like
wow.
that
I would
easily
be
could have been a
shocked.
progenitor.
I do not think that they are thinking that way at all. I would be absolutely shocked. I don't think the next Primarch is going to be Fulgrim. I think it'll be some random ass. It's going to be like Perturabo.
I mean, Perturabo would be dope too. Just
You
saying.
know,
But they're not going to do a Primarch unless that Primarch's getting a codex. The one that would be really out of left field would be
and
like,
it'll be out of left
well,
field for them to do Iron Warriors as a codex.
that would be really out of left field. But that doesn't. But I feel like it. I don't know. I feel like it would be even more surprising if they were all of a sudden like, oh, by the way, here's Wolf and Russ. He back dog.
Yeah, I just don't think they would do 2 Imperials in a row.
Fair enough. I
It
don't
took
think
them
so either.
forever to just get 2 Imperials out.
Yeah, because
True.
they did all the
2 whole
other
editions.
Traitor ones. Yeah.
Took them forever to get them out, and it took them one balance change to make them worthless.
Yep. Yep. Neither Loyalist Primarch has been playable in how long?
Well, the Lion was great when it came out, and
I think
then we switched editions, and he was terrible.
Right.
well, yeah.
The Element's not bad now, kind of.
Yeah, so they'll probably have like one for Iron Warriors, Night Lords, probably Alpha Legion. But 8? Oof, that's a lot. I think that's as many
No,
as the Space
I
Marines.
Space Marines have like something like 6 or 8.
I think
They have a
Space
lot,
Marines
but
have the most. Everyone else has like
yeah,
4 or 5.
yeah.
Victions
Which
have the most, and they're still not winning every tournament.
yeah,
Hey, Blood Angels won.
yeah.
And they also mentioned that there's going to be 2 battle forces, basically one with each new Lord type. So there's Veterans of
Right.
the Long War that comes with Terminators, Legionnaires, Possessed, and Chosen. And then the Dread
Hey, here's 2.
Talons come with Raptors, Cultists, and a Cursed Cultist.
Here's 2 new Chaos Lords. How do I get it? You buy 2 army boxes.
Basically. Oh, the Dark Commune. And I'm pretty sure they're going to come with the Codex when they come out, just like everything else they're doing right now, that you can't use until the rest of it comes out.
I mean, it's a good way to like save on stuff, right? Where it's like, hey man, I'll take the codex, you get the code, you pay me for X amount of the models. I mean, there's multiple ways to divvy that pile up. It just stinks when you want to use the codex code for your own app, but also have the book.
Right.
People can figure that crap out for themselves, I guess, but there's ways to get what you want cheaply.
The last thing that of any merit was Kill Team. And I know this somewhat got Tom excited because they announced the Kill Team was going to be Brood Brothers versus Votan, essentially Jaegers.
Yep.
Which I believe is a German word
Which
for
they're
hunters. I don't know.
described.
Something like that. John would know.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It's a
Yeah, hunter.
It's basically Jaegers, but
Um,
spelled differently.
yeah,
Yeah, without
uh,
the J.
yeah.
I mean, they look pretty cool. I like
The
the trench
Jaegers
coats.
they do. Well, the whole point is that the Henrican pioneers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pioneers is more of a category, and then they're called Henrican. And then the other
Okay.
version of pioneers are the Jaegers, and the Jaegers are more the foot troops of the advanced force. And I mean, they got some cool looking stuff. I mean, it seems like one of them has like a straight up sniper rifle, so could be some cool options in there. And um, Botan really don't have any kind of forward deploy element, so that
Yeah.
would be nice to have for them.
Hopefully, when their codex comes out, these will be. That's probably when they'll box these separately. Is when the codex comes out.
Yeah, that's
So,
usually how they've been doing it.
so we'll see what rules they have in Kill Team, and I'll give you an idea probably of what they could possibly have what's that game called? 40K. And then the Brood Brothers are just Brood Brothers. So
Yeah, it just looks like different interesting sculpts. Nothing like
yeah, they have
unit.
like the
It's just
special weapons and like the banner bearer and sniper and
yeah,
demo guy and
yeah.
all that other good stuff. So it's not too bad. And then they gave us these like little teasers for Horus Heresy, which was Mechanicus, and then Necromunda, which I don't know because I don't know anybody that plays the game. Oh no, we know somebody, but I haven't talked to them since the reveal. So that was the reveals. I think they were better than LVO. The LVO reveals, but you know.
I mean, the LVO reveals I think the biggest thing for them was the Kroot.
Yeah, and this one I think it was only better because it was Chaos Space Marine, and that's what I play. So if I didn't play
There you
Chaos
go.
Space Marine, it might not be as good.
I just wanted to clarify that subtle difference for everyone listening of why you felt that way.
Right.
So other than that, it's a little bit of downtime for me, only because I've been going to a tournament essentially every month for the last 3, if you count LVO, Cherokee, and RMO, with about a 2 to 3 weeks in between. So now I get a bigger break, so I get to work on other stuff. Mainly, I'm gonna try to do more videos for this channel, more on maybe judge or like some gameplay questions, especially when people call us for judging for a few things. Apparently, I got to work on my Death Guard because we don't know when that Chaos book's going to come out, and kind of that type of stuff. So that's on the docket for me, really, just getting my Death Guard and then figuring out what I need to paint. And the big thing with that is that I didn't paint the Death Guard army. Ish painted it for me. So I got the formula from Ish, but he said he did it all with airbrush, and I'm not very good with an airbrush, so I got to figure out
What do you have left to paint?
how to do it with a brush, huh? Most of it's a bunch of vehicles and some characters, so it shouldn't be too bad.
See, that's the best part. Yeah, that's the best part is because they're vehicles and characters, they can look a little different but still unified, even if you're not the same hand of the original artist.
Yeah, I just needed to kind of look similar. He gave me the basic colors, so I can just do that. That's fine.
Yeah, and it's Death Guard. I mean, at the end of the day, if they have the same base color and they all look grimy as shit, then like there you go. There's your army.
Yeah. Something I forgot to mention, but talking about painted, it reminded me. We did somewhat enforce a higher paint standard, which was funny
Good.
for RMO. Some people still had like the bare minimum. Like one person had it was black with like a white highlight, and they had blood splatter was their third color. But we had to talk to them and say,
No.
hey, you got to put more color going forward.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
guy,
No.
Brandon, who runs a lot of the tournaments in the area, was like, this is not good enough for his events. And a lot of them were local, so he was able
No.
to talk to them and let them know. We had a couple of people that the army was painted, but they weren't based. Like we may have mentioned, we are moving towards a more of a closer to GW battle ready standard as opposed to the 3-color minimum we normally do. So BAO will probably be a bit more strict on it. We did have to dock someone because their army was only primered. And luckily the two thin coats guys were there, so he was able to paint the army with the rest with more colors during lunch. So, and then we had to talk to a few other people about their basing and or the amount of paint they had on their army. So hopefully by BAO we'll see a bit more stuff. I'll have to put the message out there of people need to start building up their paints, their painting, and especially the basing. So just having a painted base will no longer be the minimum. So you have to put something on that basing. It just can't be bare plastic or just paint over the base. So we'll see how that goes at BAO. Gradually, it'll get stricter and stricter as the year goes on. So
Don't give people idea, Toms. Don't give people ideas.
Honestly, right? Like I've got some models that all they have is a Grelin Badland and a wash.
No, and that's fine.
Like
you
that
just use textured paint, and you're fine. But
Yeah.
some people didn't even have that.
I mean,
they didn't
all
even
that
bother.
to say, that's what I'm saying. All this to say, it's not hard to put a simple base on your stuff.
Basing is not hard at all.
No.
Even if you just get a paint knife and use that, what is that stuff?
Is it
I
from
have it here somewhere. And it's like you use a paint knife and it's like that putty stuff and you just put it on there and it's like instant sand or mud.
Oh yeah.
And then you just hit it with one set of shade.
Yeah, it's Skull Tyrant.
Yeah, there's that. There's like a bunch of different ones that make them.
Yeah, Monument Hobbies makes a bunch of stuff.
Well, I was talking about the color. You do the
texture paint. Yeah. So
yeah, there's all kinds.
There's really no excuse not to have unless you have acrylic bases, or you have the new pre-printed bases from Frontline Gaming.
That's true. Those work too.
So, and what they are, if you don't know, they're MDF bases, just with similar to their terrain sets. This I don't know yet, but the RMO was probably the last tournament for Frontline that will have player placed terrain. So we probably will have fixed terrain at BAO, but we're not 100% yet because the player packet hasn't been made yet. So just a warning, just in case.
Given to people is what they want.
That every time we talk about anything, that's what people mention. Like, when are you going to stop using player place? So
yeah.
So there you go. So
it had its time, it had its place, and that's not.
I mean, it was that way for a reason, especially during 9th. But with the new edition and the new mission types,
yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, so I spoke briefly, John. I don't think you were here about what I was kind of working on or what I'm going to work on next in between now and BAO. Basically getting ready for Champions Cup, assuming I do Death Guard. But I'm going in with the assumption that I am, so I'm going to work on that and then see when the Chaos Space Marine Codex comes out and what it looks like. And maybe I can pivot because I don't know. I don't know who else is playing what on our team, and I'm fingers crossed I get to play. So
you'll get to play.
John, you working on anything?
You'll get to play.
Other than school?
Yeah, my schoolwork. Once that's done in May, it's going to be Necrons.
Okay.
And
because you're taking Necrons for the
finishing up whatever nights we have. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay.
Necrons is the next big project. I've got a bunch of stuff just sitting there needing to be built. I got a bunch of Eldari stuff. I got a bunch of knights.
There's
So
stuff to do.
there's a ton of stuff for me to work on. Yeah.
All right. Tom, I know you gave up on my Tomb Kings.
Yeah, man. It's more just like I don't want to hold on to them for months and then tell you I didn't do very much. I'd rather just tell you now.
In
I
all
just don't see
honesty,
them
that's
getting done
probably
anytime
going to happen on my end too. So
soon. Yeah. So instead, my hobby project will be taking the Dread Knight that I just built and painting it, and that is
oh
it.
yeah, pivoting to Grey Knights.
I'm just I'm just painting a single character model, which I really enjoy doing. I do not have the time or energy to build and paint whole armies anymore.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Well, for me, it's more with the with my side thing of the historical stuff, where you can buy painted models compared to GW anyway, for very cheap, for a very affordable price anyway. So, but I think Danny, is working on his NIDS because he's taking NIDS for Champions Cup. But I think that's it for tonight. Unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
No.
No.
Nope, I'm good.
No. In
Well,
June, when we start to ramp up and practice for
for
Champions
Cup.
Cup, for sure. The Cup.
Well then, John, any last words? Words of wisdom?
Yeah. Good, so long and good riddance to player place train.
Tom?
So long and thanks for all the fish.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Thank you, Douglas Adams.
Well, thank you everybody for listening and watching, depending where you watch it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us. I believe that it is. Hopefully we'll be back in a couple weeks since I don't have to travel anywhere. And so that'll be it for tonight. Again, thank you everybody. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.